Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jeanelle Slade.
And I'm Russ Riesinger. Billings drivers catching a break with construction-free North 27th Street, but don't get too used to it.
The next phase of road resurfacing expected to slow and shut down parts of the major Billings thoroughfare isn't canceled. It's just pushed back a bit.
Well, if you drive it, you know the last few months 27th Street has been torn up and reduced to 2 lanes as the city replaced water pipes under the road.
The Montana Department of Transportation was expected to jump right in on the next phase, but now the state won't get its turn until September.
Q2's Mitch Legge is standing by now with the reason for that holdup. Mitch?
That's right, Russ and Jeanelle. The holdup with the project? Well, it all comes down to street lights.
So as Tim mentioned, the 27th Street Improvement Project is slated to actually begin, it was actually slated originally to begin in June. Much like Deb Melling said, they, to no fault of MDT's, have been delayed because there is exactly one manufacturer in the entire country who makes the light poles and the signage, the signal signs that we need for that. MDT did actually bank on those taking about 6 to 8 months to get here. They're going to take closer to 12.
MDT will replace the silver traffic signals on 27th with black ones. This is to bring 27th more in line with other traffic signals found throughout downtown Billings. The state is now just waiting on the manufacturer to finish making them. Along with the new signals, MDT will resurface 27th from the airport to the South 27th Interstate on-ramp. Now with this project comes something to help part of the traffic backup at 27th and Montana Avenue. At the North 27th southbound turn lane, MDT will also add a protected left turn arrow so that traffic turning left onto Montana will have a little bit more time to turn. So enjoy 27th while you can. Come a month and a half from now, the orange cones will be out in full force again. Jeanelle?
All right, thanks so much, Mitch. Well, as for more future construction, how about another restaurant? Panera Bread now planning to make its place in Billings. Franchise owner Ryan Restaurants has filed a building permit with the city for a 600,000 square foot restaurant between Winco Grocery and Natural Grocers on 24th Street. Now, Massachusetts-based Panera has more than 2,000 franchises nationwide. It touts fresh baked bread, pastries, sandwiches, and pasta. The permit does not indicate when the new restaurant would open.
At the nation's capital today, a House vote to condemn President Trump's tweets devolved into infighting between Democrats and Republicans.
The resolution ultimately passed after an objection over Speaker Pelosi's language on the floor delayed debate for more than an hour. Natalie Brand is on Capitol Hill.
The resolution is adopted.
A House vote to condemn President Trump's tweets targeting 4 freshman congresswomen passed largely along party lines, with 4 Republicans and 1 independent joining the Democrats. The resolution takes aim at the president's comments that 4 congresswomen of color should go back to where they came from, even though 3 of them were born in the U.S.
I know racism when I see it.
But the run-up to the vote featured a war of words about words.
These comments from the White House are disgraceful and disgusting, and the comments are racist.
I make a point of order. The gentlewoman's words are unparliamentary and are ready to be taken down.
Republicans tried and failed to strike Speaker Pelosi's remarks from the record.
I abandoned the chair.
And the bickering sent Congressman Emanuel Cleaver fleeing the presiding officer's chair. The rebuke from the House has no legal repercussions against President Trump, and Republican leaders defended the president, calling the vote political.
This is all about politics and beliefs of ideologies of what individuals have.
CBS This Morning's Gayle King sat down for an exclusive interview with the squad.
Do you feel enough Republicans have spoken up against the president?
Absolutely not.
President Trump kept up his attacks on the women during a cabinet meeting.
It's my opinion they hate our country. And that's not good. It's not acceptable.
Late Tuesday, Texas Representative Al Green also introduced articles of impeachment against the president. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Well, Republican U.S. Senator Steve Daines rushed to President Trump's defense yesterday, sending a tweet of his own that has gotten a lot of attention. The 2 Democrats vying to take on Daines in the 2020 election also wasted no time reacting to Daines' tweet. Helena Mayor Wilmot Collins, who came to the U.S. as a refugee from the Civil War in Liberia, released a video today calling on Daines to apologize.
When I first came to Montana some 25 years ago, Some vandals sprayed peanut on my garage door. Go back to Africa. Yesterday, Senator Daines sent out a tweet that called into question the loyalty of some black and brown public servants. This kind of behavior is inevitable from vandals in the night or anonymous online commenters, but not from a U.S. Senator.
And John Muse, who will battle Collins for the Democratic nomination, sent out this tweet saying, "As a veteran, I know Senator Daines calling half the country anti-American and anti-Semite made Putin's Russia and Kim Jong-un's North Korea and MBS's Saudi Arabia smile. He's their type of politician, a divider whose policies weaken America. They won't be smiling on November 2020, end quote. And tonight, Daines got more national attention, appearing on Fox News Night, where he said he would address what he calls the anti-American, anti-Semitic movement that is plaguing our nation.
In other news tonight, retired U.S. Supreme Court Justice John Paul Stevens has died.
The 99-year-old passed away this evening in Florida, just one day after having a stroke. He was nominated to the Supreme Court by President Gerald Ford back in 1975.
Stevens retired at the age of 90, making way for President Obama's nomination of Justice Elena Kagan.
All right, let's turn to the weather now. Bob, there's no rest for the weary in our weather center these days. You've got some totals for us.
Been a very busy day out there, and we've had still got some heavy showers moving in. Let me show it to you on the Doppler radar. You can see the line of showers still pushing their way into southwestern Montana, and also that stuff in the eastern edge of the state continues to move there. But I want to direct your attention up here by Glendive. Look at that. In Dawson, Macomb, and Prairie counties, heavy showers and thunderstorms moving into that area, and because of that, they've been getting about 1 to 2 inches of rain out of that, and that's been causing some flooding with a flood advisory for those 3 counties. But take a look at our storm reports. Look at all this stuff. We've seen funnel clouds over there by Decker and also Nashua. Over 1 inch of rain over at Olive. Moorhead's had basically a $50 size hail in that area. Over by Fort Smith, kind of the same thing, golf ball size hail. Cardwell's had about an inch size hail. So it's been a very busy day all across Montana. Here in the Billings area, we've had a little bit of rain, almost about 4/10 of an inch of rainfall today, and we'll continue to see some more as the night goes on. And by the way, why am I dressed like this? 50th anniversary of the launch of Apollo 11. Let's go back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Bob.
Well, Sweetgrass County authorities are asking for your help finding a missing teen.
16-year-old Marshall Damon was last seen on June 29th in Big Timber. He's 5'7", 160 pounds with dark blonde hair and blue eyes.
Now, it's believed the teen may have been headed to Great Falls. You're asked to call the Sweetgrass County Sheriff's Office if you know anything about Marshall Damon's whereabouts.
Local and state engineers are scrambling to find a fix for a water problem in Warden and Ballantyne that's making tap water dangerous for babies. A public meeting is scheduled for Monday, July 29th at Huntley Project High School to talk about high levels of nitrates discovered back in May. Now, that problem likely caused by fertilizers and livestock near the water source. In June, Water District officials warned that infants younger than 6 months and pregnant women should not drink the water. Even boiling, filtering, or freezing the water will not eliminate the problem. High nitrate levels in drinking water can cause blue baby syndrome, where blood cannot transport oxygen and babies asphyxiate.
National parks are working to sniff out a solution to aquatic invasive species, and now Grand Teton and Yellowstone are teaming up with some of the best noses in the biz. Tobias will be hitting the trails of Yellowstone starting this Friday to assist in AIS boat inspections. The Yellow Lab will be sniffing out zebra and quagga mussels, which are known to be threats to our natural ecosystem. Also, Jax, the Belgian Malinois, who found his love for detection after being adopted in 2017. He'll be hitting the road to Grand Teton National Park starting Saturday. Non-native mussels were detected in Montana in 2016, and since then, the pressure has been on to prevent more invasive species from entering our waterways. Tobias is a graduate of Carroll College's Anthrozoology program in Helena. He also works as an invasive species detective up in Glacier National Park.
14 years after a Montana soldier was killed in action, a tribute to fallen soldiers' torch ride made its way into Helena tonight to honor him. Now, the torch held in honor of Army Captain Michael McKinnon, a Helena native who died during the Iraq War. Today marked the 10th annual tribute to fallen soldier motorcycle ride as friends and family gathered at Helena's Memorial Park. The tribute is part of a 22-day, 4,000-mile cross-country ride. The nonprofit organization based out of Eugene, Oregon, will honor 65 service members this year as it travels through 17 states.
We do this to make sure that we don't forget, because it's so important. The number one thing that families say to us And even Gail and Laura said it today, is they're scared that people are going to forget, and they don't want them to forget. And that's why we do what we do, is to make sure that we say their names out loud, and that's important.
After honoring Captain McKinnon tonight, Tribute the Fallen has honored 860 fallen service members of all branches.
The Navy warship, named after Montana's largest city, has now made it home to Key West, Florida, where it will soon be commissioned. These are some pictures that the USS Billings posted on its Facebook page today, courtesy of Alex Malin Photography. The littoral combat ship and its crew arrived in Key West on Friday, much to the delight of many of the crew's families who were eagerly waiting their return. Meanwhile, the USS Billings Commissioning Committee is getting ready to wrap up a lot of work here before heading to the commissioning ceremonies in Florida.
And there's a lot of cities in the United States, and for the city of Billings to be one of the 40 out of the total LCS program to be chosen is an honor. It's just something that I never thought would happen.
It's just such a great honor for our community. The community's really kind of figuring out that this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, so it's just exciting.
The USS Billings will be commissioned on August 3rd, and Q2 will be there to cover it.
Coming up on tonight's 10 o'clock news, half a century ago, America made history on a universal scale. The anniversary of Apollo 11 next.
Plus, we'll meet a Montana boy who's still growing into his newfound opportunity of a brighter future.
And later in sports tonight, this summer's last All-Star football game kicks off live on Q2 Saturday. Scott has a little fun with the Shrine players.
You're watching MTN News with Jeanelle Slade and Russ Riesinger. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire. And sports with Scott Breen. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.